Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole. This is Ride Along with Nicole, and thank you for joining. Anyway, I just wanted to give my reaction to the DAHMER Netflix show, the what is it called? Dahmer Monster, the story of Jeffrey Dahmer. Anyway, the one thing that I have to say, yeah, is literally number one. Shout out to, I think the cast is absolutely amazing. Who they picked. I feel like Evan Peters, literally, I feel like he was able to do this through because of all the series of American Horror Show. I feel like American Horror Show walked so that this Netflix series could run. I know that sounds cheesy, but I'm pretty sure that's what I think. That's why he's so good at playing such dark characters. Because obviously, for how many seasons of American Horror Story was there? It's like 11. It's basically like what he does basically. And then obviously Niecy Nash, she's brilliant as well. She's the one who plays Glenda Cleveland, and honestly, they just chose an amazing cast. One thing that I have to say, I'm not really gonna go into a recap or tell you what happened or anything like that. I'm sure, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you've got an idea of what happened. If you haven't watched it already, I do suggest you go ahead and watch it. I'm not really going to give much spoilers, but I might say one or two things. So if you're not really comfortable with that, if you would rather watch the show and then come back, that's probably best. But anyway, basically, yeah. So this literally just pumped my anxiety from here to here, this show. Honestly, the fact that you can have a neighbor and all the signs of him being a serial killer could be right there, literally right there. And the fact that because he's Caucasian and he's from a well established family or whatever, well, his dad was well established, should I say, and his mum, eventually, and you know what, I do feel it for his parents. I'm not gonna lie. I know there's some people who criticizes his parents, but I do feel it for his parents. I feel it for both parents. Yeah, the mum, if I was to blame one of the parents, would be more. I don't know. They both had their faults, isn't it? Psychology and things like that. That wasn't really a thing back in the 60s and 70s. And so when Jeffrey was, wanting to cut up roadkill, the dad didn't see it as much. He just saw it as him being a boy. Back in the day when you see little boys pulling legs off of spiders, you just see it as, okay, he's just being a boy. You don't see it as, there's something kind of odd about this behavior. So obviously psychology wasn't a thing, mental health wasn't a thing back then. And well, it was a thing, but it wasn't really spoken about. And so I feel like that was also really important. And I feel so for the mum, because I feel like from day one, from she was first pregnant with Jeffrey, she did not want that baby. She even said she didn't enjoy the pregnancy. She didn't enjoy the pregnancy. She never felt a connection to Jeffrey. And yeah, obviously that would have affect anyone. It would. But I have to say, I do feel sorry for her, because she knew that there was something wrong with Jeffrey from day one. And yeah, she had her mental health issues. She had all these pills that, her husband wouldn't agree with, and different things like that. But, she knew that, she didn't like the fact that they cut up roadkill together. She hated that. There's different things that she didn't like. I also found it interesting that the brother wasn't, even though there's reference to the brother, there's never really much mention about the brother. I feel like he probably told Netflix, listen, I don't want to be part of this, keep me out of it, basically. But yeah, this show literally like made me feel anxious to think that like now I used to go to my friends' houses all the time and things like that, but now it's made me a little paranoid. Like, you know, my friends could be like, "Oh hey, do you wanna come round? You know, we'll have a cup of tea, we'll have a coffee, we'll, you know, talk about our boyfriends or whatever, or we'll watch this, we'll do that." I'll be like, no, you know, because I know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna come over, you're gonna like bolt up the door, put on The Exorcist, and then you're gonna eat me. Like, no, joking. I know I shouldn't laugh about that because obviously that's what really happened, and these are real victims. But the thing is, it made me sort of eerie because like I loved that movie Exorcist, and I sort of felt like, ooh, is there something wrong with me like loving this movie? But yeah, I don't know. I do feel it for the parent, all the families of the victims. I feel it for the victims. That one family in particular, the family from Vietnam, I think they're from Vietnam, and I feel like that's why there's a lot of race around that particular family, and why the police kept like harassing them and people kept like, you know, prank calling their house and things like that. I feel like because the war, people still, you know, like obviously the war against America and Vietnam and things like that. Like I feel like people has a distaste to immigrants, and it's just sad because it just shows how inhumane racist people really are. It really shows like how they're not human, and really not, because they don't see other people as human. They see it as, okay, you're a different color, which means I'm better than you, or you're less than, or whatever. So yeah, but there's a lot of race surrounding this. And I have to say, Claudia, what did I say, Glenda before? Claudia, honestly, like, props to her. Like, honestly, like, I literally loved this show. I loved it and I hated it at the same time. You know, you see something just so horrific and you want to look away but you just can't. That's how I felt about this show. Like I just wanted it to end, but at the same time I wanted to keep watching because I wanted to see what happens. One thing that I do have to say is I don't really like the fact that it kept going back and forth, you know, like it'll go here then there and then this year then that year. But I guess that was like, I don't know, but obviously not all the victims were um, men of colour. There were Caucasian victims as well. I think there's like one or two, but still, like, it just goes to show, really. Like, it just goes to show, like, you never know who your neighbours are. You never know, like, what they're doing. I mean, like, I don't live in a house. I live in a flat. So watching this sort of made me feel a bit, like, eerie as well. Like, it's just a bit, I don't know. It's just a bit creepy, to be honest. Very creepy. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say on it for now. But I'll probably give this show like a 9 out of 10. Only because I didn't. I would give it a 10, but only because I didn't like the back and forth sort of thing, you know. But I did feel sorry for both their parents. And the dad, bless him, he really, really tried with his son. Like he tried so hard with his son. Like he tried to get him help. He tried to get him a job. He really tried, and poor grandma as well. You know what? Granny saved that boy, and she didn't even know it. Like poor grandma. Imagine that. You allow your grandson to move in and you have no idea that there's bodies literally in your basement, that he's like killing people, and your whole house is basically like a haunted, like, death maze. Like imagine that, and you have no idea. You're just walking around making your coffee, playing, going to bingo. It's crazy. Yeah, it's like, it's really crazy. But goes to show like you shouldn't just trust anyone, even if they're family. I think, I don't know.